For our Roanoke County Foster Family Program, we are looking for families who can be patient and kind, empathetic to biological family, and willing to work with kiddos through a spectrum of behaviors. Most families that would do well within our program are usually families that can be flexible, usually families that can work with kiddos with traumatized behaviors, which sometimes looks like aggression. It sometimes looks like misunderstanding of situations. It sometimes looks like lack of communication. So regarding families working with our kids, we need families who are going to stay, who are going to work for the best interest of the children, and who are going to, above all else, root for the kids to have whatever they need, whether that be returning home, going to stay with a kinship family such as fictive kin or a grandparent or relative. There's a wide spectrum of what foster care could look like for every child, but we need families who are open to different solutions, who are open to creative options for kids. And especially right now, our main need of families is to work with families who are willing to care for our teenagers, who are willing to push past some of those traumatized behaviors and sit with children who have experienced many things in their short lifetime in order to help them either return home or help them find a forever home, through some cases of adoption, through some cases of giving them life skills that they can have. But regarding our families, some very specific examples that we have seen do really well. We have had families who are empty nesters, and they seem to have very flexible schedules. They can work well with our teenagers, and they often have that flexibility in their schedule, as well as a good degree of patience if they have experienced parenting before. We've also had families that don't have any other children in the home, and they can sometimes do well with our kids that need full attention. Some of our children have experienced intense trauma, and that makes it hard for them to be in a home with other children in care. So we really appreciate a variable amount of families, from empty nesters to young couples with no kids in the home, to single moms or single dads who are willing to care for children, maybe not for a long period of time, but for up to 2 weeks of care, and are willing to be flexible and work with kids and give them a good experience of short-term foster care. So if families are at a point where they really want to help locally, but they are unable to foster right now, there are a few options. One of the options is advocacy, and being a part of some of our community engagement events, such as monthly Zooms, is a really good way to learn about fostering and advocating for local children. This might not look like you fostering at the moment, but it might look like having the resources to share with your friend who's considered fostering for years. Or it might look like having the resources to share with a teacher friend of yours who's working with a child experiencing trauma within the school. Ultimately, one thing you can do is be a community member engaging in trauma-informed care for our kids and families that have experienced hardship and trauma themselves. So being able to be an advocate is absolutely an asset to being a part of a trauma-informed community. And even if you are unable to foster, being an advocate is a huge help. If you are unable to foster, and you would be interested in possibly working with our department and leading some of these community engagement events, or possibly donating items to some of our teenagers who are experiencing foster care, please contact me, Amber Tiller, at atiller@roanokecountyva.gov, or call 540-682-3361.